Aloha, I'm Maria Leonardi, and I'm a founder of Startup Hawaiʻi, where we're building a technology startup ecosystem that will connect founders and the greater community with resources and support on Hawaii Island and beyond. We just had our first virtual meetup, and I was so blown away by the participation that I wanted to share with all of you what we did during the event and what we discussed. We had 66 people come, and not only did they show up, we had some really great active discussions. No one can say that Hawaii Island is a tech desert. I think we've proven that in our meeting. So during the event, I gave everyone an overview of what Startup Hawaiʻi is and what our vision is. And then we talked about how you can get involved if you are interested in the vision. And if you are, you can see on our website what that means and what that entails if you'd like to sign up. Then we went into discussion groups. So we broke out into small groups and talked about what it means to have a strong ecosystem and what we need to do to make that happen. And some great ideas. The ideas included things like technical experts, mentoring youth, buy local services, facilitating connections across similar expertise because we're really missing that structured connection here, access to research and data in partnership with our universities and research facilities. And some of the things that people constantly brought up that were important to being a strong ecosystem were putting your community first. Nobody should have to worry about basic necessities and food and shelter. So that was a major focus. And first and foremost, what really came out strongly was respect for the culture of the island. This work may change the makeup of our economy, it may change the expectations of our community, but it should not change the values that the island holds most dear. We aren't here because we want to change things. We came here, or we are living here, because we like the way this place is. Some of the other things that came out were increasing the diversity of the community. From a couple perspectives, I think we all agree that we want to have a diversity of all types of backgrounds, but the things that we gathered in the meeting from a data perspective were geography and expertise. And while we did have an incredibly diverse geography, including people from neighbor islands and from the mainland and internationally, we didn't have all of the regions of Hawaii Island represented. So we need to do more to reach the people that are hardest to reach. And those two areas included Puna and Ka'u. The other set of diversity would be expertise. We clearly had a strong software and technology presence, but it was only just over 50%, which is great. But then again, our community, our startup community, needs to be representative of our community as a whole. And I doubt that 50 to 60% of our community is software technology. So we really need to increase the membership in nonprofit and education, travel and tourism, climate and resilience, all of the different sectors that make up our economy and that are important to this island. The other thing that we did talk about was how people can get involved, and I won't go through every single thing here, but off the top of my head, the things that are really helpful is if you could share our website with anybody you think that is really interested in this or would be very interested. If you want to be a mentor, that's another one that we are greatly in need of. An ecosystem builder, an entrepreneur leader, or if you want to join our efforts to strategize around fundraising and connecting, because we really need that kind of help to take this to the next level. So those are the big things that we really learned from this meeting, besides having really fun conversations with other individuals who are passionate about this space. Some of the near-term things that we're working on, we identified a few gaps that we think are important, one being the gap between higher ed and professional opportunities and how we bridge that gap, particularly using remote work. The second is technical expertise for companies that are scaling. So a company that may be coming out of an accelerator or an early stage of development, when they're trying to scale, that takes a whole different expertise than a lot of what exists in terms of resources at the moment. And the third is putting a little more structure around investment activities in companies, including sourcing and diligence. The good news, there's already activity in this area. It just needs a little more structured focus. And then for Startup Hawaiʻi community members, you can expect an in-person event this winter, bi-monthly meetings virtually and some in person, a podcast so that you can learn a little bit more about some really interesting leaders and founders in the community that are here already. And finally, an online community that you can enter and communicate with others that are interested in this vision as well. We'll use that to connect across mentorship, across opportunities and collaborations and partnerships. So keep a lookout for that. And if you do want to stay up to date on when those things are happening, just join us here. And remember, you don't need to be actively involved if you don't have the time. If you just want to stay informed, you can still sign up and click the Just Keep Me Informed option. So I hope that you enjoyed this recap. There is a full recording of the presentation portion of the meeting on our YouTube channel, as well as a 1-minute overview of what we're doing and why we're doing it if you want to get caught up.